welcome to episode 121 of the Alfa Romeo Driver Podcast, brought to you by the Alfa Romeo Owners Club. With me today, I have club manager Nick Wright and the club secretary David Faithful to talk about the upcoming season of events.
Well, it's that time of year again, gentlemen. We're pretty close to the start of event season. In fact, event season kind of unofficially kicked off yesterday. Lots of people listening to this podcast will have been at Brooklands yesterday for the Auto Italia Italian Car Day. Obviously not one of our events, but one that we've always worked very closely with the team from Auto Italia at. And I'm assuming, although we recorded this in advance, I'm assuming everybody will have had the usual really good time. What they may have noticed is that the van wasn't there. There was a good presence organised by the Surrey section, so the club was very visible and very active, but no van. Nick, do you want to talk us through why the van wasn't there and what's going to be happening over the rest of the year before we start talking in more detail about some of the events?
Yeah, of course, Guy, yeah. So the van yesterday was actually, rather than heading south to Brooklands, was heading north to its new home. For those of you who don't subscribe to the A-Rock grapevine, on medical grounds, the physical side of the events is out of bounds to me at the moment, which is all the jumping in and out of the back of the van at the events, lugging gazebos and equipment around, that sort of thing. And because of the nature of the van doesn't just turn up at an event magically and it all happens there. There's a whole life behind, like pre-event, post-event stuff needs drying off, it all needs repacking, shop stock, van needs detailing, of course. That's very, very important.
So it's heading off to the East Midlands so that John can detail it, is that?
That's right, yeah. It wishes. So what's going to happen? James Fernley's kindly stepped up to look after it for us. He'll be driving it around. He's based up near Derby, and the van will actually be stored by our board member Paul Jones and club member Mark Gunston, who have the premises up there, Secure Compound, under the title of Midland Car Sourcing. They're going to store it free of charge for us there, and James can operate it out of there, go to the various events. But that's the arrangement for the moment. But it did mean, unfortunately, that I couldn't get to Brooklands yesterday. But I'll still be at all the main events, of course, but I'll be taking my car for a change.
Which would be nice for you.
Indeed. I enjoy the van. It's a bit like losing a leg, not having it having it around anymore.
I have to say, I've seen plenty of lugging of gazebos. I've seen less jumping in and out of the van.
Well, for an old man, I do quite well.
You do very well. And there are a couple of events it won't be at, and we'll kind of pick up on some of those as we go through the list. But so our first club event is, as often the case, traditional opener of Spring Alpha Day, and we're going back somewhere we've been before.
We are indeed. We're off to Burley House in Stamford, in Lincolnshire again. The Sunday the 10th of May this year. It's a little bit later than normal because of those pesky Netflix people who'd already booked the venue for filming, and apparently they've got deeper pockets than us, surprisingly. So although we're normally before the Brooklands event, we're just after it this year round, but hopefully that will bring more sunshine than usual. It's just for members, it's just £16 per car, so you can get all your family in there. So just £16. Tickets are on the website. The venue are doing a 2-for-1 entry to the house for us. So if you just show your ticket or your program you get given when you turn up, you get a 2-for-1 offer on that. So, and also this year they're letting us park some of the classics in the courtyard around the house, which should be a nice change.
Yeah, good way to kick off the year.
Indeed.
And the house is, for those who haven't gone into the house before, it's a heck of a house. It's like a 16th century, what they call an Elizabethan prodigy, but it was built to honour the Queen and conceived of by William Cecil, who was the Lord High Treasurer to Queen Elizabeth I. Honestly,
I was going to say which Queen, but you'd already said Elizabethan, so there was a giveaway, wasn't there?
The clue was there, although of course there have now been 2 Elizabethan times, haven't there? It was the earlier of the Elizabethan times. Honestly, the house is really impressive, so it's definitely worth doing, but it's optional. You don't have to do that. There's loads of gardens, parklands, adventure play areas, and so on, plus hundreds of Alfa Romeos there. So we have been there before, not for several years, but it's a really, really good location.
Can I bring a horse and go around and jump over some fences? Or is
you
that
can.
frowned upon?
You can. No, you can, but obviously you can't park with the Alfas. That'll be in the public car park.
We did a site visit up there with John, and they just saying when they built the house, it was done in such a way that if you look at it from a certain angle, when people used to approach, back in the old days, it looked like a small village. So you were less likely to attack it because there were going to be more people there, apparently.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Things you didn't know. Yeah.
Things that you don't really have to consider anymore.
Yes.
Plenty of planning constraints, but that's not one of them.
No, attacking the place isn't on our to-do list for Spring Alpha Day.
No.
There's plenty of other things to do there.
Yeah. So spring is traditionally, one of the busiest periods because we have a bit of a lull in the summer to compensate for the fact that people are going on holiday and those kind of things. So they come pretty thick and fast in the early part of the season, don't they, David?
Yeah, well, we quickly follow on with Scottish Italian Car Day, of course, which is back at Hopetown House. What's the date of that? It's Sunday, the 24th of May. And for those who've been to Scottish Italian Car Day, you will know, and the clue is in the title, it's not just Alfa Romeos, it's any Italian marque. And is always very popular, both with our club members, but also other Italian car owners. So if you want to see Maseratis, Ferraris, Fiats, Abarths, and so on, that's the place to be if you're in the Edinburgh area. So yeah, that's 24th of May, £7.50, I think. Ticket prices there, all available on our website, and you get a discount if there are two of you in the car. So it's £7.50 if you're alone, or bring a friend, and it's £12.50 for the pair.
Okay, that's a discount where you pay more, but it's less per person.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly right. Yes, so there is maths involved.
Yeah.
Maths by the sounds of it. Yeah.
Okay, so that's Scottish Italian Car Day. That is one of the ones where the van won't be going this year, isn't it? For reasons of clashes, I think.
It is, unfortunately, yes. It's just the way it's worked out this year. But I mean, it's been there the last 14 years, I think. Or not to the Scottish Day, not obviously, it hasn't always been held at that venue. But, we look forward to being back there again next year.
And the usual one that's paired with Scottish Italian Car Day is Southwest Alfa Day.
It is, just to stretch things around the country. It's over a short period of time. That is being held or hosted by friends at the Devon section this year, and being held at the Haynes Motor Museum on Saturday, 30th of May. Ticket prices for that.
Which is in Somerset.
It is.
It is, yes.
Okay. just checking my geography.
Still the southwest. Yeah.
Just not Devon.
Yes, just not Devon, no. But the ticket prices include entry to the museum for that, and those are all discounted on the general public entry to the museum. So, and the van will be there as with the shop.
And as regular listeners to the podcast will know, I have a long-standing naval anorak, so if you're going to go down for that, you might want to make a weekend of it, because the Fleet Air Arm Museum, which is just a couple of miles down the road at Yeovilton, is also a fantastic venue. So if you can fit both of those in a week, well, all three, Haynes Museum and Fleet Air Arm Museum and Southwest Alfa Day.
And the museum, for those who haven't been there before, or even those who have been in recent years, it's really brilliant. And there's 300 or so cars there. The Red Room, I think it's still called the Red Room, isn't it? Where they've got all of,
I believe so,
the red Italian cars. That's a fun place to be, but it's really good for kids. I'm hopeful that I'll get my grandson to come along with me for Southwest Alfa Day, because there's loads of interactive stuff for kids to do, and you can hire these. They're not shopping trolleys. What do you call them? You hire a little buggy to wheel your kiddies around in. They're cool and they love them. Yeah, it's a really good place to take families to, young children particularly. So definitely one, if you've been there recently, it has changed, but if you haven't been there, it's one that has to be, if you're a petrol head or your family and friends love cars, then Haynes Motor Museum, definitely one to visit.
And then we've got one with a bit of a change of date, I think, a slight movement around in the calendar. In fact, it's gradually creeping towards the beginning of the year from the end of the year, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Yes, mainly due to venue restrictions, but Northern Alfa Day is on Sunday the 14th of June this year at Lotherton Hall again, near Leeds. And I think it gets moved because it's such a popular venue that we obviously have to fit around other people as well. So everyone who goes there just says what a fantastic place it is. Lots to do for the kids, all the family. And once you're in, again, everything's free. There's nothing else to charge for apart from the food and drink, obviously. Yeah, that's brilliant.
It says on my notes that that's an Edwardian country house. There definitely was more than one Edward. I have no idea which one it was that was the one that they're named after. The last one, I think, wasn't it? The turn of the century Edwards. It's Edwardian, post-Victorian.
Is this podcast supposed to be
I don't
educational?
know.
Because I mean, it sounds like we're just some old men making stuff up, Guy. So
this is called "And the Rest is Our Rock Events."
Yes, that's right. Yeah. I haven't been to Lotherton. I have to confess, I haven't got up to Northern Alpha Day yet, but I was speaking to people. It must have been at National Alpha Day who were raving about it. They've got like a zoo there. They've got a mini wildlife park zoo. They've got penguins and so on. And yeah, so it's not all that you might imagine an Edwardian house to be. It's quite a cool place to go. And again, for families and kids, lots to see and do. So I think, yeah, don't assume that Lotherton Hall is just a hall with some parking. I think there's some cool stuff there as well.
I think the zoo was added on afterwards, David. Actually,
I was just going to say, I was looking for patterns. Elizabethan, does it look like a village? Edwardian, has it got a zoo attached?
Yes, exactly right. You can see the criteria we adopt when we're trying to plot our events around the country.
The next one in the calendar officially is the big one. But there's one I think probably worth mentioning before we get on to National Alpha Day, which is Festival Italia, which is the weekend before, which is always a popular event for club members.
It is, yes, Guy. We have two areas again for the club. We have the main club area, that's got 50 cars, and the Kent section have also got an area of 50 cars, and they put those adjacent to each other, although they wouldn't just give us one area of 100 because it was too big apparently. So small man maths included there. So yeah, it's a popular day. Obviously the Alfa's racing, all the Italian cars are racing.
I actually get back from my holiday at 6 a.m. on the 9th of August, and I am currently negotiating as to whether I can go straight from Heathrow to Festival Italia. But
that would be convenient, yeah, rather than going home first. That would be
yeah.
I think the other thing, again, look, a lot of our members have been to Festival Italia. We're regulars and quite familiar, but a lot of people haven't been there, and they're sometimes put off by it's Brands Hatch. That's all the way around the M25. That's quite a distance. Not sure I'm up for that, but it's definitely worth going to once, because yes, you have to go around the M25, but once you're there, it genuinely is a festival of Italian machines. And to have the track racing going on, you have all the static displays. The paddock is open. You can walk around all the Alfa Romeos as they're being prepared, as they're going to and from the track for racing and so on. So if you've not really been to a big motorsport event and you don't really fancy the idea of driving to Brands Hatch, this should be your exception. You should go to Brands Hatch once in your life at least, and Festival Italia is definitely worth the drive down.
And it's more than just a festival of Italian machinery, because there's Italian food and drink and crafts and all sorts of other stuff there as well. So it really is and
motorbikes. I'm a big fan of motorbikes. There's always a good selection of Italian machines on two wheels.
Yes, and two big wheels and two small wheels. There's usually a pretty big scooter contingent there as well. So yeah, really, really good day out. And our friends from Wright, I never know the proper way to pronounce that. They have a couple of rounds on the day. So it's not just that there is motor racing on. There's lots of Alfas racing alongside the display activity. Okay, can't put it off any longer. The following weekend, it's National Alpha Day. And I think, as always, bigger and better than ever.
Yes, Sunday the 16th of August this year for the 2026 National Alpha Day back at Bicester Motion. And the last few years, we've had in the region of 1,500 cars, Alfa Romeos, on display. We always get more than 2,000 people. And last year, I think we were approaching 2,500 people. So it's big, and it feels big when you're there. And Bicester's a very large premises. And of course, we have multiple display areas. You don't just park in one field. We've got both the field displays around by the racetrack. We have the central grass display area. We have all of the parking around all of the classic buildings in what we call the engineering quarter, where typically we put most of the older classics. And we also have the enormous hangar, though we are looking at doing something slightly different this year. We'll perhaps come on to that. So yeah, National Alpha Day is a bit of a monster. That does make for a really, really different feeling when you're there. We have live music. We have our land train that drives families around the whole site. So if you're not up for doing the full walk around, jump on the land train. We have obviously lots of food and drink and so on. We have our concours prize giving, our show and shine, and lots of other activities for children, like our go-karts. We have face painting, and of course we have our moving cars, which is track times, members only, where we'll have, I want to say 10, but there might be 11 track slots. They're normally 15-minute track slot. We often run 2 in a half an hour slot, because some cars like 916s are very well subscribed, so we'll have to run a couple of track slots within a half hour, but there's typically 10-11 half-hour slots on the track, and so members get to drive their own cars at a fairly rapid pace around the track. And that just, that element of moving cars just makes National Alfa Day a really exciting place to be, because people not only get to drive their cars on the track, but they also get to watch everybody else driving their cars on the track. Yeah, always a fabulous event. People always rave about it. It's just huge and it's exciting. And with the live music, good food and drink, good company, and probably 1,500 cars or thereabouts, it's like nothing else like it in the UK.
And I will be doing some drone filming of the track action, but I'm determined this year for the first time to actually book in on one of the sessions as well. I don't think I'm going to be able to arrange to book in on a session and drone film that session, but it's not impossible.
No, I think that is, let's be honest, part of the drawback of being on the organising team or the marshalling team is you're busy organising and or marshalling, and so you don't really get to enjoy it. I know on a Sunday evening, Nick and John and I and you and the team, we all sort of look at each other and say, oh, it's over. And we sort of missed it. So, yeah, I think we should try and make an effort actually to be part and parcel of it.
Maybe we should have a 12th session on the track, which is just for committee and organisers.
Anybody with a high-vis vest, just let us loose. Yeah, that's probably not a safe thing to do.
No, you're probably right.
Is it worth, Nick, just touching on, not confirmed yet, but we're very excited about something slightly different this year. We're talking about moving cars, and we mentioned the hangar. What's our thinking at the moment, Nick? Can we share anything?
I think we could. Well, Alfa Romeo UK are joining us again at the event, as they always do, to support us. They'll be bringing some static display cars along, as usual, with their team. They're also planning on having some moving cars this year, but say it's not been finally confirmed at the moment, so we can't say too much. That'll be released nearer the time. But yes, we are looking to have some moving cars in and around the hangar. So for a change.
Which is great, because the hangar's a great facility, and it's nice to have somewhere available to us to send everybody if it starts raining, which it hasn't done so far. So far. But the problem with the hangar is it's so huge that even when you've got 120 cars in it, it looks empty.
Yes.
So actually having stuff moving around there, I think, is potentially a really good use of that space.
Yeah. I think, as Nick says, we haven't signed fully yet. We've signed that Alfa Romeo UK are coming and attending. We are discussing with Alfa Romeo uses of that hangar, and the aim is moving cars. And we're not talking about bimbling. We're talking about quite rapidly moving cars, and our members will be able to participate is where we're trying to get to. So yes, not signed and sealed yet. Hopefully people won't be disappointed if we end up with something a bit different. But at the moment, we are really hoping to have a really quite exciting set of things happening in the hangar. So it won't be, or our current plan is, it won't just be parked cars in the hangar. There will be some tyres screeching, but let's see.
Sounds really good.
Just going back to what we were saying about the day passing quickly when you're running events and organising them. I remember the first time we did it at Vista, David and I got there at like 6:45 in the morning. We had a key to the gate, so we leant on the gate and looked at this massive empty airfield, let ourselves in, and like 2,500 people arrived, had a good day. They all went home, and we were left at the end, the two of us leaning over the same gate, and I was like, well, it must have happened because there are photographs.
It's very, I know that's not what this podcast is about, but honestly, it's a very surreal world to be in when you're organising and when you're running these events, because as Nick says, you arrive, it's just an empty airfield, and when you leave, it's just an empty airfield. But the things that happened in between, and the thousands of people, and all the events, and the fast-moving,
all kind of happen around you rather than.
That's right. Yeah.
And frankly, it happened despite us. So best
That's right.
and all that. But there's nothing we could have done to stop it happening on the day. So yeah, I I've become used to that feeling at the start and the end of these events. But yeah, at some stage we will enjoy it, and as much as our members do. So yeah, but I'm really looking forward to National Alpha Day this year, because we are really trying to step things up, make it feel different. And honestly, if you haven't been to National Alpha Day before, you're going to be amazed. The size and the scale and the sounds at National Alpha Day, it's like nothing else you'll experience. So look forward to seeing you all there.
Well, we're into mid-August. We've got probably 3 more events that we should talk about. We talked about one multi-mark event. We've got Midlands Italian Car Day coming up again as well. And this one, I think for the first time I can remember, is us visiting a venue I've never heard of.
I've never been to this one, I must admit. But Mitcar is on Sunday the 20th of September, I think you said, at Grimthorpe Castle, near Bourne in Lincolnshire. I know Mitcar's been held there before, but so I've never been there personally, but it's seen the photograph. It looks like a fantastic venue. So being on the East Coast, we'll have lovely weather, of course, in September, as we all do on the East Coast.
Yeah, it could be lovely. It could be snow.
No.
But let's go for lovely. And again, the usual mix of, lots of Alfas, lots of Fiats, some Ferraris, some Lancias, lots of Abarths. Really, really good day out. And then just squeezing into September, Southern Alpha Day, where we're actually returning to the site of pretty much our only big club event during 2020. When we managed to sneak in what did we call it? Was it Autumn Alpha Day that year? I can't remember, but it was.
Yes, it was. Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. It was a very small window in COVID, wasn't it, when we could hold an event?
It was Alpha Day 2020.
Yeah, it was like a pop-up Alpha Day. Yeah.
Yeah, at Stoner Park near Henley. Beautiful venue. Feels like you're in the middle of nowhere, but actually only 10 minutes from the M40. So really nice venue to get to. And again, for people who want to stay a bit longer, some of the area around Henley is. Yeah, it's a really lovely area to explore.
Yeah, I remember that was the first time I'd been to Stoner Park, was in 2020 when we ran that event. I think this time we won't have our measuring sticks to check the distance between cars. It was 2 meters plus. No, so it'll be really, really nice to go back there, actually, because that venue's unbelievable for, the static car displays. They do a lot of supercar shows there, actually, at Stoner. So this will be our first time back for about, what it'll be, 5-6 years.
6 years.
Yeah, but I do. We were all talking about this, weren't we? And great memories of that event. And I'm not sure if that was great memories because it was our first event after COVID and what have you, or what. But I remember that location being really spectacular. It's a lovely place to be, easy to get to, as you say. And the cars look fabulous. It's not a flat field, is it? There is a flat parking area, but there's sort of inclines. It's sort of like Stoner Park's in a big valley, and so the photographs you get of the lines of cars going up the hills and on the variations and so on, it's unbelievable. It's like no other.
Although I think we may be on a flatter area this time around just because of the way they're organising the venue. But yeah, okay. It's a lovely park. Yeah. And there's a fantastic adventure playground for the kids there as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'd be
really
nice
good
venue.
Yeah. And I don't we haven't launched tickets for that yet, though.
No, it's close, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say may be done by the time this goes live, but if not, shortly after, tickets will be on our website, and yeah, we'll ping everybody on the forum, on our Facebook, and so on about the tickets when they're available.
And that says on my script here, Guy, that I've got an anecdote about Southern Alpha Day.
Does it?
Last year. Yes, it does.
Hang on, you've got a script.
Yeah. Yeah. Did no one tell you, David? Sorry.
No.
Okay. No, we were down at Stansted Park House last year for Southern Alpha Day near Portsmouth, and 2 guys came up to the gazebo and said they wanted to join their brother into the club because he had an Alpha. So just, of course, there was the big house, a bit of gravel, and the gazebo was right next to it. And one of them started filling the form in. So I said to the other guy, "Have you come far to join us today?" And he turns through 45 degree and points at the house. And he's like, I was like, "Of course you are. You live there, don't you?" And they ran the trust that operates the house. But yeah, it's silly things that Nick Wright says at events again. So,
I'd have to check this, but I'm pretty sure we found out when we did the the last Stoner Park event, that the owner of the house at Stoner Park is a former 156 owner as well.
Yeah. And this Spider Duetta had been in the family since new. Apparently their mother had it. He was well known for flying around the countryside in it when it was new. So, yeah.
So that's the last occasion currently planned for polishing cars outside stately homes. But there's another event before the end of, well, before winter sets in at Donington Park.
There is, yes, following on from the two track days we've done at Castle Combe now, organised by John and Simon. They've plumped for Donington Park for a season closer this year on Wednesday, the 21st of October. So it's members only track day. They're incredibly well organised, these. So they're all put into groups of expertise and cars and things. So if you've not done a track day before, you won't be on track with someone who's very experienced going twice the speed of you, scaring you. You'll all be in with similar skilled people or experienced people. There are still a few spaces left for that as we speak, but I doubt it'll last very long. So if you're interested, I would get your name down for that as soon as you can.
I'm hoping that by the time this goes out, I will have taken one of those spaces. I had a problem with the Spider about a year ago, and Jamie Porter's advice for me was that it was fine to carry on driving it, but I wouldn't do a track day. So I finally got it booked in to get it fixed specifically so that I can do this track day. Cool. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And there are a couple of others. We've concentrated on our events. I know we've talked about Festival Italia, but there's also a couple more Auto Italia events where we'll have a presence. You've got the dates for those, Nick?
Yes, the first one, obviously for Brooklands one we've spoken about. The next one is the Prescott Italia at the Prescott Hill Climb. That's Saturday, the 9th of May. It's always popular for not only spectating, but they let some of the pre-booked cars go up the hill as well. This is a display type thing, which goes down very well. Mm-hmm. Their next event, Sunday, 26th of July, they have their Northern Italian Car Day at Raby Castle in the northeast. Again, I've not been there, but it's supposed to be a fantastic venue. Our Yorkshire section go along, represent the club there, which is always good. Another, this is not Auto Italia, but there's Fiat and Friends on the 1st of August. They're at the British Motor Museum at Gaydon, which is a good day. So
it's the very few gaps that there are between our events are filled with somewhere else to take your Alfa.
They are, yes, indeed.
It's worth just mentioning as well, of course. Last year, across the club, we managed or arranged more than 350 events. If you add up all of the section activities, section gatherings, register events, and so on. So do check out with your local sections and your model registers as well, because I know this year we've got, of course, we sort of skipped over events like the Welsh 100 drive out that we arranged for South Wales. I know the GT and Breras have a drive out this year as well. I think that's in August, beginning of August. So yeah, just do check in with your model registrars and or your sections, because what we've talked about is the primary centrally organised events as part of AROC, but there's more than 300 other events happening, including driving events with your local sections and registrars.
Yeah, and the Cymru, I should probably try and pronounce 100 in Welsh, but I've got no idea what it is. But the Welsh drive out is all the details are on the events page on the website. That's the 18th of July. But as you say, I think we're getting more and more. We've always had lots of good local section event, but more and more register events thanks to the enthusiasm of people like Nathan Mahoney and Debbie Lindsay and the 916 guys. So
and we're doing more of the sort of teaming up registrars as well, because it's obvious it is very difficult. I know when we've run Mito events, it's very difficult because you can't pick a location that works for hundreds and hundreds of members all around the UK. So by teaming up, they did the 159s and the Breras. We're doing a GT in the Breras. We can do a Mito and Giulietta. You're giving more opportunity for members to come along, socialise, meet others, and so on. So, yeah, I think the more the registers start to buddy up, the easier it becomes to get, perhaps a bit larger event or a larger drive out organised at the model level. So, yeah, really encouraging that.
Cool. I think that's probably enough events to keep people happy for the rest of the year. I'm just going to give a quick mention to something that I took part in beginning of, a couple of weeks ago now. when this goes out. Alfa Romeo have a long history of running a driving school in just outside Parma in Italy with ex-Formula One driver, ex-Alfa Romeo sports car driver, Andrea De Adamic, who sadly died quite recently. That's all been relaunched as the Alfa Romeo Driver Academy. Same driving school, now run by his son, weirdly named Gordon, which is not the most Italian name that I've come across. And he's got two sons called Cameron and Finley, which is even less Italian. But they do a fantastic driving experience at the Varano circuit near Parma, and I was lucky enough to have a go at that, all based around the current range of cars. So we took Junior Veloce, Giulia and Stelvio Quadrifoglio, and actually a Giulia Veloce diesel, of all things, onto the main track with instructors. So they take you out with an instructor, then they do a couple of laps with an instructor coaching you, all of which is filmed. So they give you an SD card at the end of the day with in-car from all the cars you've driven. Then they take you out on cars with telemetry set up. So on the day, they send one of their instructors out. It was pretty wet the day that I was there. So the instructor goes out and sets a good lap. Then you go out and then they show you your telemetry trace against the instructor's trace. And he talks you through why you're so much worse than he is. They make a bit of a competition out of that. And then the last activity they do is they have a sort of figure of 8 handling course set up in the car park. Which you go round in a Tonale MHAV against the clock. Gutted to say that I set the second fastest time of the day, but hit a cone. So my time was disqualified. But just a huge amount of fun. Oh, and a fantastic set of instructors as well. So those who are interested in single-seaters and motorsport might have heard of Luca Filippi, who is the chief instructor. When they introduced all of the instructors, I heard one name and I thought, oh, I hope I get him as an instructor. And I was very fortunate to spend my driving sessions alongside Giampiero Simoni, who people of a certain age will remember as Gabriele Tarquini's teammate in the British Touring Car Championship. So we had lots of interesting conversations about the right line to take through Dingeldel at Brands Hatch. So just an absolutely great day. That day is available to anybody to book on. You can book on it through your local Alfa Romeo retailer, and we're currently in discussion with Alfa about some kind of offer for club members. Not quite sure what form that will take, but obviously Parma's a lovely part of Italy, fantastic food in the region if you like cheese and ham. Well, very good cheese and very good ham, to be fair. But yeah, absolutely brilliant fun. There'll be a write-up of that either in the next magazine or Notiziario, depending on space constraints and timing and stuff, but it will be in the next issue of one or the other. But really, really good fun.
Excellent. Sounds very cool. Very jealous as always. We're getting with you doing more and more of these things, you're becoming more and more annoying. It's just becoming a bit of a jealousy fest.
And I'm enjoying being annoying.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. But
no, it was really good. And
it does sound good.
Yeah, met some interesting people. It was obviously a pre-event for journalists, and we had some interesting YouTubers, and Nathan Chadwick, who is or was a club member, very into his Italian classic cars. So just a good social day as well. And a very nice medieval castle that we stayed. And now I'm going to stop being annoying now.
Yeah, you've gone too far now.
Yeah. Has it got a zoo? This is all we need to know.
No, it's Elizabethan, so from a distance it looks like a village.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
A hill village. Cool. Thank you very much, gentlemen. And
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you at the next event.
We'll be there.
That's it for this episode, and I think you'll agree there's something in the calendar for everyone to enjoy this year. And it's worth also mentioning that the club will have a presence at the remaining rounds of the Alfa Romeo and Italian Intermarque Championship, of which we're a proud sponsor. So if there's a round near you, why not pop along and watch the racing? Over 30 entries are expected for the Donington round, and at some meetings there are pre-85 and 105 cup races alongside the usual Twin Spark, Turismo, Power Trophy and modified categories. Full details can be found at alfaracer.com. We'll be back in 5 weeks' time on Sunday the 7th of June. Episode 122 will be available to download from the club's website, Podbean, Podcast Addict, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and everywhere else good podcasts are found. Until then, stay safe.